that you'll ever do. Two can be as bad as one. It's the loneliest number, just the number one. No, it's the saddest experience you'll ever know. Yes, it's the saddest experience you'll ever know. Because one is the loneliest number that you'll ever.
Eliot was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and can trace his heritage to the New England settlers. Eliot studied at Harvard in 1906 until 1914. Eliot became an official British citizen in 1927 due to his love for Vivienne Highwood. At this time, Eliot approached a major turning point in his life when he joined the Anglican Church. After this point in his life, his writing became more positive. Eliot held many jobs in his life, including schoolmaster, bank clerk, freelance writer, assistant editor of The Egoist, editor of the Criterion, and professor of poetry at Harvard. Like many poets, Eliot was very private. His will stipulated that there would be no biographies written about him. This is the story of T.S. Eliot writing the poem, The Lovesong of J. Alfred Prufrock.
Shakespeare. He burned with love as straw with fire flameth. He burned out love as soon as straw burneth. He framed the love, and yet he foiled the framing. He bade love last, and yet he fell a turning. The passion pilgrim.
It's a depressing day and a depressing life. 29 years I've gone through this life alone. Now finally, I have a chance to change, to take a new path, no longer in this hellish labyrinth of solitude. Human voices wake us and we drown.
T.S. Eliot. Oh, after a many sleepless night, I finally finished my greatest creation. Happy birthday, Mr. Prufrock.
The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock by T.S. Eliot.
If I believed my answer were being given to someone who would ever return to this world, this flame would shake no more. But since no one has ever returned alive from this death, if what I hear is true, I will answer you without fear or disgrace.
Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky, like a patient etherized upon a table. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels, and sawdust restaurants with oyster shells, streets that follow like a tedious argument of insidious intent, to lead you to an overwhelming question. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit. In the room the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo.
The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window panes, the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle on the window panes, licked its tongue to the corner of the evening, lingered upon the pools that stand in drains, let fall upon its back the soot that falls from chimneys, slipped by the terrace, made a sudden leap, and seeing that it was a soft October night, curled once upon the house, and fell asleep. Indeed, there will be a time, for the yellow smoke that slides upon the street, rubs its back upon the window panes. There will be a time, to prepare a face to meet the faces that you meet. There will be a time to murder and create, and time for all the works and days of hands, that lift and drop a question on your plate. Time for you and time for me. And time yet for 100 indecisions, and time for 100 visions and revisions, before the taking of a toast and tea.
In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. There will be time to wonder, do I dare, and do I dare? Time to turn back and descend the stair, with a bald spot in the middle of my hair. They will say, how his hair is growing thin. My morning coat, my collar mounting firmly to the chin, my necktie rich and modest, but asserted by a simple pin. They will say, but how his arms and legs are thin. Do I dare disturb the universe? In a minute there is time for decisions and revisions, which a minute will reverse.
For I have known the evenings, mornings, afternoons. I have measured out my life with coffee spoons. I know the voices dying with the dying fall, beneath the music from a farther room. So how should I presume?
Known the eyes already, known them all, the eyes that fix you in a formulated phrase, and when I am formulated sprawling on a pin, when I am pinned and wiggling on the wall, then how should I begin to spit out all the butt ends of my days and ways? How should I presume?
Known the arms already, known them all. Arms that are braceleted and white and bare, but in the lamplight downed with light brown hair. Is it perfume from a dress that makes me so digress? Arms that lie along a table or wrap about a shawl. And should I then presume? And how should I begin?
I say I have gone at dusk through narrow streets, and watched the smoke that rises from the pipes of lonely men in shirt sleeves leaning out of windows. I should have been a pair of ragged claws, scuttling across the floors of silent seas.
In the afternoon, the evening sleeps so peacefully, smoothed by long fingers, asleep, tired, or it malingers, stretched on the floor, here beside you and me. Should I, after tea and cakes and ices, have the strength to force the moment to its crisis? But though I have wept and fasted, wept and prayed, though I have seen my head grown slightly bald, brought in upon a platter,
No prophet, and here's no great matter. I've seen the moment of my greatness flicker, and I've seen the eternal footman hold my coat and snicker, and in short, I was afraid.
Would have it been worth it, after all, after the cups, the marmalade, the tea, among the porcelain, among some talk of you and me? Would it have been worth a while to have bitten off matter with a smile, to have squeezed the universe into a ball, to roll it towards some overwhelming question, to say, I am Lazarus, come back from the dead, come back to tell you all, I shall tell you all, if one, settling a pillow by her head, should say, that is not what I meant at all, that is not it at all. After the sunset in the dooryards and the sprinkled streets, after the novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor, and this and so much more, it is impossible to say just what I mean, but as if a magic lantern threw the nerves and patterns on a screen. And worth a while, if one, settling a pillow or throwing off a shawl, and turning toward the window should say, that is not it at all, that is not what I meant at all.
I am not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. I'm an attendant lord, one that will do, to swell a progress, start a scene or two, advise the prince, no doubt an easy tool, differential, glad to be of use, politic, cautious, and meticulous, full of high sentence but a bit obtuse, at times indeed almost ridiculous, almost at times the fool. Grow old, I grow old, I shall wear the bottoms of my trousers rolled. Shall I part? As you can see, Alfred Prufrock is one of my greatest creations. You may learn more about him from my associates.
When the wind blows the water white and black, we have lingered in the chambers of the sea, by sea girls wreathed with seaweed red and brown, till human voices wake us, and we drown.